Oops, he did it again, folks. Trump just humiliated himself by insulting the French and making a total fool of himself. FDR is currently spinning in his grave. Welcome back to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. And let's hope that's the only time I ever have to quote Britney Spears on this show. Now, if you subscribe to our channel, and if you haven't, the button's right there, hit it, people. If you're a frequent viewer of Occupy Democrats TV, you know that Donald Trump has a nasty habit of making a fool of himself. Remember this little dust-up at Arlington Cemetery on Memorial Day?
Present! Present! Out!
Dude, you had to take a few steps and salute, and you couldn't even do that much? You had to look at the boozy sperm bank Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to figure out what to do? Lord save us. And if that doesn't have you cringing yet, stay tuned. Remember how he confronted South African President Cyril Ramaphosa using debunked allegations of white genocide in the country?
What would it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for the president. It's, for him, no, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer that. It will be,
Our president will respond to you.
yeah, let me,
Thank you, Mr. President.
it will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us on the around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. In some cases, those policies do not go along with government policy. Our government policy is completely against what he was saying, even in the parliament. And they're a small minority party, which is allowed to exist in terms of our constitution.
But you do allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take land.
Nobody can
take land. And then when
land.
they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No, there is
Nothing happens to them.
There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people.
You know, you have to respect how President Ramaphosa holds it together there. He also corrected Trump in that most murder victims in South Africa are black, and that there was only one white farmer killed there last year. For more on any of these cringy memories, see the other videos here on the channel. Then again, if you're just looking to cringe, check this out. Speaking today at the Invest America Roundtable meeting, Trump addressed his breakup with Elon Musk, the ongoing protests around the country, and he tried to give us all a World War II history lesson, and failed miserably. Now, this is a longer clip we're about to show, so watch it all if for no other reason but to gaze into the depths of President Taco's stupidity.
I think, important moment for this country. 2 weeks ago, I was calling people and back and forth with leaders, including President Putin, including French president, including lots of different people. And all of them said, we're celebrating victory in World War II. And I said, wow, isn't that amazing? We're the only one that wasn't celebrating, and we're the one that won the war. Now, Russia did help. They did lose 51 million people, in all fairness. People would say, oh, he's sticking up for Russia. No, they lost 51 million people. And, we can't forget that. But France was celebrating. And, as you know, Hitler made a speech at the Eiffel Tower. But when I spoke to President Macron, he said, oh, we are celebrating the great victory of World War II. And I think that's great that he was doing it. But we're the one that won it. And we weren't celebrating. I said to myself, isn't that crazy? And I think it's time for us to celebrate a little bit. We've had a lot of victories. We won 2 world wars, and then we go out and change the name of the forts where we won the wars. You go out, we win world wars from Fort Robert E. Lee, from Fort Bragg, from all the different forts. And what do? We change the name of the forts because we want to be politically correct. So a lot of them were changing back. You probably noticed Fort Bragg and others. But I think it's a time to celebrate our military. You know, we've rebuilt our military largely. Little low on ammunition. That's because it goes out very fast to other countries, one in particular. But we'll get that back very quickly. But we have a military the likes of which nobody has. Nobody comes close. We have the best equipment in the world. We make the best equipment in the world. There's no military like our military. We showed that with ISIS. I was told by the television generals it would take 4 years to win, and we did it in 3 weeks. And it was headed by General Raisin Kane, who's now the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He's great. Just left him.
Oh, Lord. Again. Trump has made this claim in the past during a visit from French President Emmanuel Macron. And no, Hitler did not ever give a speech at the Eiffel Tower. Okay, let me break this down for everybody. Trump seems to forget that the Allies won the war, not the United States alone. That includes the UK and Soviet Union, both of which fought far longer and suffered much more damage and casualties than we did. But you know who else that included? France! Yes, the Nazis occupied France, but that's different than France joining the Axis powers. And it was largely the Soviet Union that gutted the German war machine in Europe, but they only lost about 28 million people, more than anyone else in the war, but that's not 51 million people. And you know why other countries celebrate V-Day? Because they were invaded by the Nazis! The United States never was. And yes, we do celebrate our victories in World War II. We call those holidays Veterans Day and Memorial Day, where we honor everyone who fought on behalf of the nation. And no, we did not win from Fort Lee or Fort Bragg because we were never invaded. Yes, those bases did exist during World War II, but no, they did not win the war. And furthermore, we changed their names because they were named after insurrectionists who tried to destroy the United States over their love of slavery and racism. Lee, Bragg, Jefferson, Davis, these people are not great Americans. They were enemies of the United States. Full stop. Full stop. Then again, given that this president sparked an insurrection, the participants of which he later pardoned, maybe we shouldn't be surprised that he sees insurrectionists as heroes. And that does nothing to address the Nazi-like actions or policies of the Trump administration, parallels impossible to ignore or deny at this point. But you'd think the man could at least know basic history. To any citizens of those countries that do celebrate victory in Europe, or Asia for that matter, and are miffed by Trump's remarks, we apologize. Regardless of political affiliation, Americans consider our struggle in World War II a proud and sacred thing where the United States and its allies helped save the world. And the sacrifice of other nations is not lost on us either. No word on if Charles de Gaulle is crawling out of his grave and demanding to meet with Trump in Washington, but after that asinine press conference, I wouldn't put it past him. More importantly, let's hope Trump's name is one day lumped in with Lee, Bragg, Mussolini, and yes, even Hitler, as someone deserving of no monument, remembered only as just a national embarrassment, or for that matter, as a major enemy of history. This is Occupy Democrats.